Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. Well, I had an opportunity to watch Caitlin Clark's interview with the Kelce brothers, Travis and Jason Kelce. And I got to tell you, the interview on New Heights, their podcast, was jam-packed. It was wide-ranging, and they effortlessly moved from one topic to another topic to another topic. So many nuggets in there, and I hung in there in spite of Travis Kelce's potty mouth. And when I say potty mouth, it's a potty mouth. I managed to hang in there, and like I said, lots of nuggets in there. I am not going to show parts of the interview. I don't feel like figuring out YouTube's copyright thing, so I'm not going to do that. And I imagine you've either seen it or you are planning to see it. So all I'm going to show you is I was going to say trailer, right? The tease, I guess you say, that came out the day before about this interview. So I'll show you that. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about 10 takeaways that I have from this wide-ranging interview. Check this out.
All righty, our guest today is a 6-foot guard from the University of Iowa, the NCAA all-time Division I scoring leader, the first pick of the WNBA draft, WNBA assist leader, all-star, and 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year. She's the most requested guest in the history of our show. And the Time Magazine Athlete of the Year, Miss Caitlin Clark.
I don't get excited about many things, but this is at the top of my list. So
we made it, Jason.
So there was a lot of pomp and circumstance with that teaser, that teaser, that trailer, whatever you want to call it. So let me get into 10 takeaways that I have for this interview. I should probably say from this interview, and they are as wide-ranging as the interview itself. So let's get to it. I'm going to start with, obviously, number one, and that is they asked Caitlin Clark. I thought this was genius. Sorry to interrupt myself there. They asked Caitlin about her favorite award. She's had so many awards, and they pointed that out. So they asked her which was her favorite. And I thought, hey, listen to what she's going to say. Everybody wants to tune in. Which one is it going to be? Is it going to be AP? Is it going to be Time? We could go on. It's going to be Rookie of the Year and all the other plethora of awards and honors from Sports Illustrated to the Sporting News. I mean, we'd be here all day. So her answer, which I thought was genius, was the academic honors she has. Something she said her mom would be or is most proud of. I thought that was a smart answer because there's so many other awards out there. But I will say she did acknowledge Time. That's a really huge deal. And so she's pretty safe in going there. But I love the answer about academics because ultimately that's why she went to college, right? And that's going to be with her all of her life. Can't take that away from her, even when the sports accolades end. So cool, smart also. And congratulations on that. Okay, let's move right along. Number two, I love that she acknowledged the brothers' knowledge. She said numerous times something like, you guys know what that's like. You guys know what it's like. She didn't come up in there like she knew everything, but she constantly made sure she referenced that whatever I'm saying, this isn't new to you guys. I understand. You guys get it. You've been there. You've got knowledge of your own, and that's wonderful. I'm sure she meant it, but it's also a good thing to do for your host to acknowledge, hey, I respect you guys. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You get how this works. That jumped out at me. The next one, number three, Caitlin Clark asked questions, and they weren't like manufactured, pre-written questions. They were organic. They showed genuine interest. organic in that it came right from the conversation. Some of the things she asked them about, what were their dream schools? She asked how they felt during the NFL draft and how many rounds there are to the NFL draft. But they were asking her about the draft and how she felt, and she talked to them and she turned it around. How did you guys feel? She also asked questions about who they would have picked for NIL. When they started talking about NIL, the positives, the challenges about that. Well, if you had a choice when you were in college, what would you have chosen to represent for NIL? She asked Jason about Penn Station cheesesteaks. She asked them about their opinion of the transfer portal. She asked about their favorite karaoke song, right? So there were so many questions that it wasn't like, I'm just here to answer questions, but she showed genuine interest in other people, in these two people in front of her, and asked them questions. And they seemed very happy to answer those questions. That was great. That was number 3. Number 4, they asked her about a WNBA personality presence who was helpful to her in her rookie season. And she pointed out Tamika Catchings and the support Tamika gave her and still occasionally checks on her. That's huge. And if you know Tamika Catchings or know anything about Tamika Catchings, number 24, who played for Coach Pat Summitt, I still miss her. I know you've heard me say that a million times. She played for Coach Summitt. She obviously played for Indiana. She won a championship with the Indiana Fever. She's very much involved in the Indiana Fever. Her jersey hangs in the rafters. Number 24, which, if you didn't know, was my basketball number. But Tamika Catchings, a class act. So I am not at all surprised that she would reach out to Caitlin and be a support to her. Now, for those who would say, as some have said with other acknowledgments, well, I hope Caitlin's not saying this because the pressure with the Time magazine and that she's going to uplift the Black people who came before, the players now and all that. Listen, first of all, Caitlin was always acknowledging people, and some of them are Black. So that's okay. But if you know, like I said, anything about Tamika Catchings, you know what an absolute class act she was. Competitive as the day is long. But acknowledging her has nothing to do with anything other than Tamika Catchings was a phenomenal player, appeared to be a phenomenal person, and just someone who obviously reached out to Caitlin, welcoming her into the Indiana Fever family, and just doing what Tamika Catchings does, because she is a person of character, and I love that. And she was also coached by Coach Pat Summitt, who I believe was a woman of character and was fierce. Woo! And so she produced other fierce people. But Tamika Catchings' support, she highlighted that. That was number 4. Moving on to number 5. They asked her what was her welcome to the W moment. And she talked about her eardrum when that ruptured. And what stood out to me about that, we've heard her talk about this before. And what stands out to me is that she doesn't mention a player. She doesn't make it personal. She doesn't say, oh, these people tried to hurt me, tried to take me out. She never says that, even to a fault, right? But in this situation, she talked about the eardrum. She talked about how she managed to not have to have surgery and all of that. But this was her welcome to the W moment. And now when you hear about the eardrum, if you look it up, you'll hear them talking about Jonquel Jones and a screen that Jonquel Jones placed on her, and she went, right into it. Now, I can't find any footage on that, but there was also the screen by Breanna Stewart, and there is footage of that out there. So I don't know if that one was in May with Breanna Stewart, I think. And then I think Jonquel Jones was in June, but she also had said before that she's had her ear popped before. So, and then there was the rupture. So I don't know either way, it was the rupture of her eardrum, which was her welcome to the W moment. This is what stands out to me about this. It's sad to me that when a person says, hey, what was your welcome moment to the WNBA? Or anybody being asked, what was your welcome moment to your job? What was your welcome moment to teaching? What was your, whatever it is, that the answer is something so negative and painful. I wish she could have said, wow, my welcome moment to the WNBA is the time when 5 players showed up at my apartment and they wanted to let me know that they were so glad that I was in the WNBA and that they appreciate me, and we're going to have some fierce battles, but they're so glad I'm here. Like, that should be your welcome to the W moment. But the whole mindset about the WNBA is the physicality. So you're welcome to the moment, to the W moment is about what they pride themselves on standing for, which is physicality and the hazing aspect and the whole thing right there. I think I hope that changes. I hope when the newer people come through, they be like, oh, my welcome to the WNBA moment was how everyone just embraced me, etc. And then we battled it out on the court. But yeah, but that they automatically think of the negative says something to me about the culture of the league. Okay, now I'm going to stop here after 5 of these, and I want to ask you, if you've not subscribed to the Adrienne Ross Show, this is a great time to smack that subscribe button as we grow with your help. So subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share, all of the good things. Okay, so that's the first 5. Now let's do the next 5. Number 6, she was asked about the pressure coming into the league. And this is normal. It's probably typical, but maybe even more of a thing for her because of all the expectations upon her. She said that she wanted to be what she was drafted to be. That's a kind of pressure that we don't understand, at least in basketball, but we may understand in other aspects of our lives, where you get hired for something and you hope you fit the bill, or you get married and you hope you can be a good wife, or if you're a guy, you hope you can be a good husband, whatever it is. All the eyeballs are on Caitlin Clark, fans following her into the league. Diana Taurasi talking about levels to this thing and laughing about whether how they're going to do. All the pressure and your number one, all of it. And Gino saying what he's saying, all of these things. And then your team is just horrible to start, and you don't have a chance to get it right because the schedule is so terrible. Yeah. The pressure of wanting to be what she was drafted to be. And she handled it so well. Okay, that was number 6. That stood out to me. Number 7, another takeaway, how she honored her parents' role in her career. She talked about 7th grade. In 7th grade, she was starting to get recruiting letters in the 7th grade. I thought I was the only one that people hunted down in 7th grade. Wink, wink. Anyway, so it started early. And so her parents did things to protect her because they wanted her to be a 7th grader. They wanted her to be a kid and have the opportunity. And what did Caitlin say about this? And I'm quoting her here. She said, it's honestly sad where college recruitment has gone. That speaks volumes. It's a sad thing, she's saying, that we're taking 7th graders and already trying to find a way to get them to think about college. You just got in middle school, you haven't been to high school. And like she said, it's sad. That's how she defines this. Okay. And honestly, guys, this is how I feel about the whole college situation. Listen, they're recruiting kids in the 7th grade. They're giving NIL deals to high schoolers. They're rushing them to make college decisions. And then when they get to college, they rush them into the pros. Let's see how we can make them pro ready. And let's talk about whether female players should be able to get out of college before they're 22 and the whole thing. And I know some people are all for it. They're all for the NIL deals. And Caitlin speaks, she's for it. But she has to admit it's wild and it's challenging. And she talked about that. But when I look at it, I'm thinking, let the young people be young people. When I was young, like my family didn't even want me to work. Like kids were trying to get jobs and stuff. And they were just like, you only get to be a kid once. Be a kid. And when I went to college, it was like, you're there, get your education. If you need some money, I'll do the best I can, all that. But you're going to be working for the rest of your life. Just focus on your studies, etc. So that's kind of how I feel about the whole thing with all the money they're trying to throw at them. And now, I mean, it's just they get college is not like college basketball anymore. It's about the next level. And should I come out early? And then the percentage is large. I did a video on this about those who do come out early, and a whole bunch of them don't even end up making a squad after they've been drafted. Stay there and develop. But anyway, I'm digressing. She didn't say all that. I'm saying all that. She said it's honestly sad where college recruitment has gone. And she's exhibit A because in 7th grade, they're trying to figure out a way to get her to go to their college. She's trying to figure out what I do with my lunch money. I have my quarter in my pocket. Anyway, she did say about her mom and how she made sure in those playing days as a youngster that she didn't play more than like 3 games in a day. And she tried to keep the number down. Why? Because she said she wanted her to be a kid, and she didn't want her to get burnt out. Wow. Yeah, I don't want you to get burnt out. I'm sure her parents know basketball. Her parents played sports. They saw the talent. They didn't want her to get burnt out. And it reminds me of the Williams sisters, Serena and Venus Williams. In their career, Richard and Oracene, their parents, did not want them in too early, did not want them playing in a ton of tournaments in the what do you call it again in tennis? The youth. I know there's something else for it. Not really the minors, but the young stuff. I don't remember the name of it. Sorry. Although I was an avid fan of Serena and Venus Williams. But in any case, people would say, well, if they're going to go as far as they can go, then they need to play more tournaments. And their family said, nope, our daughters are going to be well-rounded. They're going to do other things, and they're not going to get burnt out. And you know what? Obviously, it worked. They're well-rounded. They got a lot of coals in the fire. And they were able to dominate, especially Serena, for a long time. So that just reminded me of that. That was number 7. Number 8. Wow. This one is very touching. She used the term the best tradition in all of sports. Actually, she said it's probably one of the best traditions in all of sports, if not the best. And this is what she was talking about. The tradition in Iowa at Kinnick Stadium during the football games after the first quarter, there's a wave tradition. So let me tell you a little bit about this wave tradition, and then you'll see why she calls this likely the best tradition in all of sports. So the Hawkeye Wave is a college football tradition at Kinnick Stadium where fans, athletes, and coaches wave to pediatric patients and their families at the Children's Hospital, which is right there. You can see the Children's Hospital right there. So when does it happen? At the end of the first quarter of every home Iowa football game. What happens? Fans, athletes, and coaches wave to the patients and families watching the game from the hospital. It started in 2017 after a fan suggested the team do something to cheer up the kids in the hospital. That's how this tradition started. Why is it special? I'm on Google reading this, sharing this with you. It's special because the wave is seen as a moment of connection and hope and a genuine act of kindness that makes the patients feel like they're part of the community. And how it's celebrated is that the Kid Captain program chooses a song to play during the wave. So this is their tradition during every home game. it really is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And Caitlin, of course, we know she volunteers at Children's Hospital. So it's not surprising that this is something that she would say is like the top of the top in basketball. Not basketball. Let me take that back. In all of sports. Again, she said probably one of the best traditions in all of sports, if not the best. And she says she gets the chills when this happens. I love this. Okay, number 9. She was asked, if you weren't playing basketball, what would you be doing? And she said, since sports is so much a part of who I am, I probably would be in the front office of a sports team, working on free agency, different things like that, all the things that go on in the front office. She specifically said not coaching. And maybe she means at this age, not coaching, maybe down the line, that's something. I don't know. All I know is what she said, and she said in the front office. So maybe that is what she wants to do down the line, which would go well with her business/marketing background, her degree, of course, being in marketing. And number 10. They asked her a piece of advice that she would give. And she said, enjoy every moment. Remember why you do what you do. And she said, don't take it too seriously. Have fun. And of course, she knows that she needs to do better because she does take it very, very seriously. And she said, I'm working on that. Right. But have fun. Enjoy the moment. And as somebody right here who was just in the 7th grade, like yesterday, I can tell you, time passes so fast. So have fun. And I really thought what Travis said was really spot on and went well with what Caitlin said. He said that in the beginning, he just took everything so seriously in football. And then he said, now he says to someone, it's not that serious, right? And I thought that was so cool. Yes, it's your job. Yeah, you want to be working hard. And Caitlin is doing that. Yes, you want to be the best. Caitlin is doing that. But in the big scheme of things, it's not that serious, right? This moment will pass. The air ball will pass. The teammate who didn't set a proper screen will pass. So remember why you're doing it. Enjoy it. Have fun and succeed. You can do it all, can't you? So I encourage you to check it out yourself. And what are your nuggets? I gave you 10, but there are I weeded out some. I actually wrote down more than that earlier while I was watching it, but I'll be here all day because it really is worth watching the whole thing. Like I said, I had to do this sometimes because, oh my goodness, it's so unnecessary. But anyway, I got through the potty mouth and I heard the nuggets and I gave you 10. What do you think of the 10 I gave? And also, what would you add to it? I'll put the link in the description of the show. And I will catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.